For the ones who make over $150 a year, what do you do to get that? So this doesn't help anyone, but it certainly fits. I worked sales for a company that sold ATMs. We hired a new guy first week on the job, a Chinese bank. Cold call him and order no joke 20K ATMs. The dude got his bonus check and quite. He make over 200K that year. Lol. Orthopedic surgeon. Made big sacrifices socially, traveling/income during 20s and early 30s while training. I'm 36 years old, just starting my third year of practice, and make $840 straight salary. Probably work about 55 hours a week. It's incredibly rewarding, but also very stressful. What would be neat is if everyone also included the number of hours they work per week. Ship captain, 250K-ish for about 180 days of work. I'm in B2B technical sales. I sell industrial starch to paper mills and charcoal plants. Base salary is 135K per year. Over the past 5 years, bonus has ranged from 40K to 70K based off company performance. We mostly hire engineers or at least people with technical background for our sales roles. I do transport for a mortuary in the SF Bay area, picking up dead bodies. My base pay is about 80K, but I get plenty of extra hours and overtime because I'm pretty much the only one who volunteers to do the SoCal and out-of-state trips. We will only go as far as Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, and the border towns of Mexico. With all the overtime, I easily make 150K plus. Honestly, the fastest way to get there is to job hop. I'm older, and there's no longer a reward for long-term employment. Pensions aren't a thing anymore, and employers don't give a shit to retain you. Leverage a new job for better pay. Also, don't be afraid to apply for jobs where you don't meet 100% of the qualifications. Those things are a wish list for employers, and I recommend you shoot your shot. I'm a steam fitter. Basically, I build industrial piping systems. Moved up the ladder after I got my license, and now, with all the OT on the jobs I run, I make somewhere around 200K. Went back to school at 27 for electrical engineering. After I graduated, I felt like I had the momentum to keep going, so I got my master's. I was able to land 3 different internships starting about my junior year, which helped gain me some experience in the field. Graduated at 34 and landed a job at Apple. Been here ever since. Lawyer here, making 520 to 550K, 390K base salary, and 130 to 160K in bonus. My pay is very standard for a lawyer at a large corporate firm, as big law lawyers are paid in lockstep for the first 7 to 8 years. I have 5 years of experience, and essentially every other 6th-year lawyer at a large firm in a major U.S. city makes the same amount I do. Takes way more of my time than I'd like, but it's exciting and pays well. Lawyer, USA. Undistinguished academic record from an undistinguished law school. Took me a while to get my first legal job, which I still have. Started at 65K. About to start my 4th year at 150K. Strictly WFH, no billable requirement, generally very easy and low stress. Occasionally I get to help people. Can't complain. By the standards of the profession, I am not paid well. By the standards of the profession in my geographic area, it is a fine living. By my standards, grew up rural and pretty poor. I am doing just dandy. The real questions is going to be, do I try to job hop to increase my salary and possibly find more stimulating work too? Or do I just look in the mirror every morning and say, bro, we are so lucky, and use my copious free time for other things? I am an astrophysicist, heliophysicist. I have devoted 40 years and counting of my life to learning and sharing that knowledge. Edit. It is certainly possible to make a decent living at heliophysics research. However, if your main objective is to make money, you can do much better in other fields. For examples, look around this thread. The largest reward of research is that you get due to research. I'm a fundraising consultant. Anyone who can write well, look into writing grants. It's an incredibly niche skill. Edit. I'm still keeping a lookout in my DMs and chats for unique questions, but just to let you know, a ton of the questions you all have are probably answered in the replies below, from how to get into it to my take on AI in the future. If you have a truly unique question, feel free to reach out still, but know it may take a couple days. Edit 2. I am sorry I didn't make this distinction in my first comment, but a lot of you have asked how I got into this gig. Unfortunately, it was after starting as a $29,990 a year scrub at a small nonprofit. 5 years after that, I used my expertise and knowledge to go out on my own. But I'll also say this. That last sentence is basically the point. To all of you who are reading this who aren't even fundraisers, remember, in your current career, you are building expertise and knowledge, and that is a product in and of itself if you convince people it is. Think about the bar rescue guy. He's a bar consultant. You may be a bartender and not even realizing you know how to make a bar run well, and thus you have that knowledge to sell. I'm not sure how relevant or accurate they are nowadays, but I started reading about independent consulting in high school. Class of '08, baby, with books by Alan Weiss. I read The Business of Expertise a few years ago, and it was also a good read. So look that stuff up. And lastly, to all my fundraisers out there, I was in the industry for 5 years before breaking out on my own. But now that I've been on my own for 5 years this January, I can assure you, if you are actually a talented writer with a tact for this, you can freelance grant write as soon as you work to get your first client. Go to nonprofit events, tabling events, IYKYK, and casually let all the other nonprofits you meet know you write grants. Go to your favorite causes and volunteer to write grants for them or to help their grant writer. Tell them you're looking for experience. Write fake grants you can show potential clients if you can't do that. The applications are all online for anyone to see. Just search any major corporation with foundation after it, and you'll hit their grant portal. Create an account and complete an application. Or better yet, go to www.instrumentl.com, utilize their 14-day free trial, and come to understand the important aspects of finding a good grant for a specific cause. We are all put here to serve, and we all agree about that, regardless of our religion or belief system. To those of you who want to make an impact and make money, nonprofit fundraising is an option. I wish you all well in all of your endeavors. Just out of curiosity, and for anyone replaying here that makes over $150K, do you work insane hours to get that? 55, 60 plus hours, OT? Would be crazy to think that you make that much and basically just punch the clock at an even 40 hours. There is definitely something to be said for work-life balance, even if making 6 figures. Edit. Thank you to all who have replied. Not gonna lie. I'm jealous as fuck, but awesome to hear that most of you have an overall good work/life balance without too many crazy hours. As for me, I will likely have to work until I am 95, and you will probably find me wearing a blue vest and handing out stickers to little kids at the front entrance of a Walmart or something for some paltry wage. Lol. $230 annual base salary. General counsel at an industrial manufacturing and construction company. That means I'm a lawyer and head of the legal department for a fairly big company. I've been a lawyer for almost 9 years and done multiple kinds of law. That has allowed me to skip a few steps. But I'm also damn good at what I do and work my ass off. The only lawyers I know that are happy are in-house lawyers like me, and some prosecutors, but they get paid shit. But not everyone gets lucky enough to go in-house. If you're thinking about law, I would highly recommend that you reconsider. Do medicine, software, cybersecurity, or if you're hot, be a sugar baby, I guess. JK, don't do that. But anything but law. Edit. For those asking why not law, it starts with school. Everyone at law school was the smartest kid in every one of their classes from elementary school through college. Everyone. Then you got from that to being maybe middle of the pack, a nobody. And it's super fucking cutthroat to get even there. But you learn to think like a lawyer, i.e., be a super obnoxious and hypercritical overthinker. Then you get to a law firm or a government job or whatever, and it turns out law school taught you very little, if anything, about being a lawyer. But you're expected to know or learn the rules and start billing time or charging people with crimes or protecting kids from abusive parents or some other super fucking heavy thing at 25 years old. Don't get me wrong, I take a tremendous amount of pride in it. But imagine, if you will, keeping track of everything you do in 6-minute increments to get to 150 hours worth of billable hours of work a month. You can never get ahead. At very best, you are caught up until the first of the month when you are 150 hours behind again. It takes you 200 plus hours of actual work to get to 150 or 160 of billable time. This is not an exaggeration in any sense. Imagine also being the only thing between your client and 10 years in prison, or losing their home, or losing their business or kids. In my situation, I am constantly on the lookout for problems and watching for things that may become problems. For my entire company, the mental burden is a lot. I am a borderline alcoholic and am only now learning to take care of myself again. It's been a long road, and I'm on the right side of it now, but there were times when I could have easily not made it to tomorrow, if you catch my drift.